Hi, my name's Dan Gallman. I've had Miss Timke for 2 years now, and I can easily say she's the best math teacher I've ever had.
That was easy.
Hi, this is my terrific teacher, Miss Weitzel. She not only makes science awesome, but she makes me want to go to school every day.
We are kindergartners from Shadowlawn Elementary. We present to you our teacher, Mrs. We love you to school.
I would like to introduce our Naples High School Academy of Architecture and Engineers School Teacher of the Year, Mr. Bob Bentley.
This is Macy's Teacher of the Year nominee.
M
R
S
D E
T
D
E N
J
U T
A S I. World Geography.
We're so proud to be in his class. Mr. Davis, the teacher of the year, is the best. Oh, yes!
Hello, I'd like to introduce the 2011-2012 Teacher of the Year, Chris Fowler with the Marine Program at Lorenzo Walker Institute.
I'm proud to introduce the Guru of Geometry, the Ace of Algebra, the Master of Math Games, the Middle School Teacher of the Year, Miss Henderson.
Our next Golden Apple recipient is no stranger to the shouts and cheers of athletic competition. He is one of the football coaches at Naples High School and also teaches Advanced Placement Honors Social Studies. As you will see, Paul Horn is just as passionate about student learning as he is about winning football games.
So we're going to review the Bill of Rights and then illustrate the Bill of Rights is what we're talking about. And then yesterday we started off, we talked about the religious freedom and the aspect of the First Amendment being challenged here coming up.
Paul Horn believes that being a fully prepared and participating American citizen is both a right and a responsibility. So he uses every possible resource at his disposal to help his honors and advanced placement students understand the topics he teaches. Whether it's American government, human geography, or high school football, which he also coaches, he brings passion and enthusiasm to the game. He is especially passionate about the positive role technology can play in the classroom because he believes it is a true multiplier of that most precious commodity, time with his students.
Number 2 there. Most of you got that right. B. State E is a fragmented state. Notice the little swatch of green down there in the bottom right-hand corner of the paper.
Multiple choice questions are projected onto a whiteboard, and the students answer the questions with remote control clickers, a form of audience response technology similar to that used in corporate training and in television game shows. After everyone clicks in their choice, Horn instantly shows them a bar chart with the answers they have collectively submitted. This allows him to zero in on which lessons need more study.
D is the right answer there. Most of you got that right. Now let's look. I don't see any protrusions in E. Unless you're interpreting, if somebody be brave. If you said D and E, are you saying that's a protrusion?
Yes.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And so that I know that when there's a bunch of kids that get the right answer, they know that concept. When there's a bunch of kids that get it wrong and not as many kids get it right, I need to go back and reteach that concept. So as far as assessing what information they know, I can get a snapshot in 5-6 minutes. Now, those are extreme circumstances, and that might not happen, but that's what was happening in the Founding Fathers' time frame. These British soldiers were hardcore, iron-sharpened warriors that were coming into the house, eating their food. The hardest and most difficult challenge I have is how am I going to grab their attention? In our media world, our technology-driven world, attention spans change quickly. I don't necessarily have to change what I'm doing, but I have to alter pace, I have to alter sound, I have to alter volume. I have to alter where I am. I have to move. Movement catches the eye, and so I'm constantly trying to blend all that together. All right, there we go. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, comma, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. have a love for history. My dad put that in me early. If there's anything on the East Coast that's history related, I've camped there and seen it firsthand. He developed that love of history in me, and so I embrace history, I enjoy it. And not all kids do that. Not all kids, some are much more science-minded or math-minded, which is fine. But when I see the science or math-minded kid take a liking to a topic or an interest in something that we're talking about, and you can see that light come on in their face that, oh, okay, I understand this, and it wasn't painful coming to geography class or government class today. That's probably the neatest thing, and it happens a lot.
He puts himself into the lesson and is very energetic and tries to interact with everyone else and kind of gets us like to get up and do group projects and run around the room and go to like certain areas for different, lessons. Like he'll have like sticky notes everywhere and you have to match them. And it really helps because, I don't know, it just sticks better.
He gets really motivated and really into like his subject. It seems like every day he wakes up and then I feel like the first thought he thought is like that he wants to come teach us and wants to come coach us. Like he gets really into it, and it's like the first thought I feel for him every day, that he wants to teach and get us motivated and have us learn.
He's a great example to our students as what a complete human being is and should be and ought to be. I have a personal story that my son is a 2007 graduate of Naples High School, went off to college where he played football, and Paul continued to keep in contact with him throughout his years in school, surprising his college classmates with texts and calls, because none of them had retained any contact with their high school staff, faculty, staff. And here Paul does, not only with my son, but with many of the players who have come through this program, whom he has both taught and coached.
For him, teaching, coaching, it's not a career, it's a lifestyle. It's in his DNA. And he cares, the old saying, kids don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. There's no doubt for any of his players, of his students, there's no doubt that they all know how much he really, really cares about them. He's an authentic guy.
And I think I've been blessed with a talent to teach and coach. And when I wake up, it comes natural to me. It's something I enjoy. And so because that's my talent, that's what I got to do. I got to teach and I got to coach. So I think it's innate. It's something that I've had that opportunity to discover. It was a conscious decision in college to maintain my relationship with football. How can I continue that relationship? Be a teacher, be a great coach and be a great teacher. Those kind of go hand in hand. And it's a process that took me 20 years to get to, but once I figured that out, it's been a good ride since then.
I think we can all agree that when a nurse is taking care of us, it's a comfort to know they have the critical thinking skills necessary for the job. Our next teacher says she uses her own work experience as a nurse to help her adult students acquire those critical skills. Let's get an introduction to the practical nursing program at Lorenzo Walker Institute of Technology and its Golden Apple teacher, Eileen Schoenecht.
Did you find his heartbeat? Anybody listen to the heart?
I got blood pressure 120 over, never stopped.
Okay.
Meet Stan Mannequin, a high-fidelity computer simulation mannequin in the cardio simulation lab at Lorenzo Walker Institute of Technology in Naples. He blinks, breathes, mimics abnormal heart rhythms, stops breathing, and has cardiac arrest episodes just like a real human being. And that helps practical nursing instructor Eileen Schoenecht teach her adult students the many skills they will need as nurses when they go to work in hospitals and nursing homes.
So I'm going to progress him to his next state. While his vital signs adjust to his next state, I'm going to let you know the doctor has called back and given the following orders. Administer O2 at 6 liters per minute via nasal cannula stat. So what are you going to do?
2 days a week, Schoenecht splits her teaching time between the simulation lab and the classroom at Lorenzo Walker. The other 3 days a week, her students work with real patients in a hands-on clinical setting at Naples Community Hospital. She says she feels very fortunate as a teacher to have the NCH clinical setting and state-of-the-art simulation technology at Lorenzo Walker.
One of the most important takeaways from cardiovascular nursing is that these students must be able to recognize impending emergent conditions in their patients. High-fidelity simulation lets me take the student right to the edge of death, where I can't do that in clinical. In clinical, if a patient really is that bad, we have to step back and let the professionals who have licenses handle the patient and bring them back. But in simulation, I can go all the way and let them feel the weight and the burden and the heaviness of the decisions that have to be made. Critical nursing judgment is what we would call that. Now we're heading into respiratory therapy. And even though we spent some time in pharmacology doing injections, we're going to be talking a lot about tuberculosis and TB skin testing within the body of respiratory. So I thought today we would take another practice shot, no pun intended, on TB skin testing. Probably the thing that gets me most excited is to watch as the students grow in their role as a nurse, to watch them acquire those skills, practice the skills, and successfully maintain them through a period of time in a clinical setting. I think that there's just nothing like watching them look up at you with confidence in their eyes that says, "I've got it now," and to know they really do have it, that they are competent. And now we're going to pull back on the syringe until we get to 0.1. Okay, I'm at 0.1. There are several types of injections that nurses have to learn how to give, and one of the more difficult ones is the one we did today on our chicken legs, and that's called an intradermal injection. Basically, we're taking one layer of skin with a very small needle and getting into that layer of skin and injecting a solution, usually for testing purposes, not so much for treatment. And in doing so, we have found the right place for the medication to be planted. It's the closest that I can come in hands-on simulation for these students prior to them actually doing an intradermal injection on a real patient.
I really feel confident when we go and we're in front of a real patient. She makes it real. I mean, in class, we do have, notes that are the basics, how the body works, but she puts it into scenarios that we can actually feel like we know what we're doing in a real life situation.
She expects 110%, and if she sees you're struggling, she's more than, she'll reach out, help you understand what you need to understand.
I think she inspires passion in her students, and the way she can inspire that is because she herself exemplifies it. Achievement, wanting them to be the best they can be, the best of the best.
She really has a detailed, nuanced impression of the students, very rich. It's not just a surface impression of the students. She really knows them well. She has a very comprehensive attitude toward them, and the way I think about it is, she's a nurse, and what she's doing for our students is she's modeling the behavior that you want to see in a nurse.
She works so hard and takes a lot of pride, and she's really a pioneer in that she's working with students that normally it's at a university level or at a university, and she brings that Harvard mentality to right here to Lorenzo Walker, that this is for real, this is important, you're at the right place. There's magic within Mrs. Schoeneck that she brings to class, and students absorb that.
I've been a nurse for 28 years. Inherent in nursing is a huge component of education. We teach our patients. I was specializing at one point in my career in employee health, and I did a lot of employee counseling, not only on health issues, but on personnel issues, attendance issues. And so I've done a lot of teaching in my career. I have always wanted to be a teacher. And so when I relocated back to Florida, the opportunity presented itself here for me to actually fulfill my dream of becoming a teacher. And how much better could it be than to take my passion for nursing and turn that into teaching? And so I'm very privileged, I'm very lucky to be in this position teaching nursing to people who really want to learn nursing.
I'm sure you've noticed by now there's a common characteristic among our Golden Apple teachers, and that is a passion for teaching. Our 6th and final Golden Apple recipient is no exception. Parents and colleagues will be the first to tell you that she inspires students to excel in ways that at first did not seem achievable. See for yourself as we go into the classroom of Sheila Snyder at Palmetto Elementary.
Okay, heads together. If it's March. If it's March, teams heads together and let's get some points here. If it's March, what is next month? If it's March. Team 1.
April.
Awesome, Team 1. If it's March, what was last month? Heads together.
For students with special needs, structure and routine are very important. So Sheila Snyder usually starts her Modified Curriculum 3 class at Palmetto Elementary School with questions about the calendar, the weather, and other day-to-day experiences common to all of us.
122, 123.
But these seemingly routine activities are part of a carefully crafted curriculum that also provides math, reading, spelling, and other essential life skill lessons to learners with extremely diverse abilities.
Is it hot, warm, cold, or cool? Cool. Cool. Good. Cool. What's cool this morning? Yeah, so how do you spell cool? Well, the students have a set routine when they come in. They know, some of them have specific jobs to do before they actually even come into the classroom. Safety patrol or working in the school store. But in the morning, I like to have a consistent routine where we're just doing calendars, school days, weather, to kind of let the kids settle in and get comfortable and ready for the day. All right, we are going to get ready for centers. Centers today look like this. We have a listening center. This is a wonderful story by one of my favorite authors, Mem Fox. I love how Brian's eyes are right here. It's just awesome.
Sheila Snyder says she approaches teaching the same way she approaches life, with passion, purpose, and a positive attitude. Through the years, she says she has developed ways to catch students doing something right and praise them often, so they too will develop positive attitudes about learning.
$1.91.
Awesome, you didn't give up. I'm proud of you. Good job.
In fact, each student has a treasure chest, and they receive coins for doing something special in class or performing a random act of kindness. And at the end of the week, there are special rewards for the number of coins they've accumulated. Each student is also part of a team, and there are team rewards as well.
To the left. Good job, Lexi. Good job, David. I'm very enthusiastic, and I think that carries over to them. If I'm motivated and enthusiastic about what we're doing and have that energy level, I'm hoping that they will too. And most of the time they do. It keeps them up and keeps them on their toes and ready to go. And I also like to do a lot of movement in the classroom. I don't like the kids sitting for too long. They get really itchy, and there's always a purpose to what we're doing. Make sure we're going, oh, you are counting by twos. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, you ready to go? They are just wonderful. They are funny, and they make you, they just warm your heart. They make me laugh. I'm so proud of them. I have such a passion for teaching them and compassion for the families that I feel like I'm not just a teacher, I'm an advocate, a resource, and a cheerleader for them. And I just thoroughly enjoy it. I'm so grateful to have a job like this that I love.
She's so positive. She tells them, you can do it. And she believes in them and encourages them to believe in themselves. She helps them to set goals and to understand that they don't have to be perfect. who defines perfect anyway? And they think, I can do it because Ms. Snyder says I can do it. And that's a great way to start the day, with someone who really believes in you.
She does everything fun, just like chores time and do everything, art and crafts, computers, puzzles, draw on the whiteboard.
She makes me smile, and she knows I could do tests, and she knows I could do anything I want. So she could know I could do math and spelling tests and practice how to do math and tests.
She individualizes the students, meaning like she caters to like their needs. So if like my son has a problem in a certain area, she caters to him, because she has a wide range of students, I think from 3rd to 5th grade, and she's able to handle everything with them. It means everything, because in a regular classroom, my son basically was not really a shining star in the classroom. Like, he could barely even get by. In this, he's able to become a shining star, and make accomplishments, feel good about himself, lift himself up, because he can reach those goals. To recognize this little school in the big woods and how they've embraced this program, from the administration all the way across to the cafeteria workers, the bus drivers, the bus attendants, my super assistant in that classroom, Christy Prisco, just to be able to recognize the people that really give it their all to make something like this successful in the district is excellent, and to celebrate this incredible class of kids. They're just wonderful. They're a wonderful group. They motivate each other, they enjoy each other, they cheer for each other, they are friends, and to celebrate that is really a great thing.
Congratulations to our 6 Collier County Golden Apple recipients. Before we end, I'd like to introduce you to this year's Heart of the Apple recipients. This award recognizes individuals in the community who have made a significant collective impact on education. This year's Heart of the Apple recipients, Herb and Ann Rowe, have been passionate about education their whole lives and are committed to Collier County students.
The world map is its own attraction when you go see Herb and Ann. The den wall is covered with red pins of every city that they've ever visited in their travels. And I don't mean Tennessee, I'm talking Tanzania or other points.
Since I have been a volunteer in education, I guess for about 50 years, the level of the intellect of today's children far exceeds what it was, and the information that they are required to master is enormous. Herb was Associate Administrator of NASA, and so I decided to write a grant to NASA to see if I couldn't make our school district a NASA Explorer School District.
Ann has a passion for science. She has a degree in physics, and so when we would be doing labs, Ann was always there. And we were doing video conferences with NASA, Ann was always there. And her enthusiasm is absolutely contagious. The children know when someone's really excited about what they're doing. And so they'd be excited and they'd be running to Ann, look at this, Mrs. Rowe, look at this.
When I first met Ann, was part of the Jason Project, and she pushed our science department really into that. And we used that program for a number of years. And just being around somebody that's that passionate and that willing to get involved, she's in there with the students, learning as much as they are, and she continues to be really involved in a lot of different ways. Yeah, her passion and her advocacy for science education has been just phenomenal.
I'm in the area of sciences, and my degree from Northwestern was a major in chemistry and a minor in physics and math. And so I've always worked in the schools from the perspective of science. Herb's interest is in English.
Herb started the English-speaking union branch here at Naples about 22 years ago with one of his good friends, Bunny Dudley. You and the Education Foundation receive the benefit of Herb and Ann's vast world knowledge simply by being in contact with them and having that perspective. We, as members of the English-speaking union, have an opportunity to further that and preserve it.
When we joined the ESU, Herb was president of that.